Welcome back, comrades, to Democracy 4. That's right, we're still socialist, things are still going reasonably well, actually. What a roller coaster of an episode we had last time. Honestly, GDP up and down and up and down and up and down, but now I can confidently say that we have passed the stage that I was most worried about. We're now running an absolutely monstrous surplus, if I'm not mistaken. £51 billion a quarter, which ain't too bad at all. I'm looking to try and pay off as much debt as we possibly can over the course of this episode, and we're also going to hopefully improve the state of the environment. There's a couple of things which are slightly problematic. I would say, mostly they have an environmental origin. Respiratory disease, that's affected by car usage, and it affects productivity, which is not exactly ideal. A lot of people commented saying that we can reduce the uncompetitive economy modifier by implementing tariffs, so that's exactly what we're going to try and do. Also, pollution, rare earth metal mining is affecting that, and the poor state of the environment. The environment is literally awful at this moment in time, so we're definitely going to see if we can fix up the environment at some point today. The other thing that I want to see if we can try and do, is see if we can try and, you know, find another couple of achievements to achieve. Top marks. I don't know how to get this one, but I think that we must be en route. We must be en route. It does certainly feel like we're getting there. Anyway, the rare earth crisis is definitely going to end next turn, which is great. That's going to fix the GDP, repair productivity a little bit, which is quite nice. Pollution, on the other hand, I mean, there is just no way. There's no easy way around it. There's no easy way around it because GDP is doing so well. Pollution is just here. It's not exactly ideal. Right, import tariffs is something that we can get next turn, which is grand, because I didn't know that this could fix the uncompetitive economy, and I guess I haven't really seen if that's actually worked yet. Okay, egalitarian society actually ends. That's a bit of a bummer. I was really hoping that we would be able to fix that. Is that because of the antibiotics resistance? Is that the problem? Yeah, that might be the problem. Okay, GDP is up a little bit. We've got a risk that the gig economy will start up again, which is not exactly ideal. Labor laws, look, we should definitely adjust. We should definitely adjust the labor laws. We do want to be increasing wages. We want to be increasing wages as fast as we possibly can, because that feeds into human development, right? And human development is something that we care about quite a lot. So when human development goes down, that ain't exactly good. I think it's health that's taken a little bit of a pounding recently. Yeah, it's health that's taken a little bit of a pounding, which I think was what caused our egalitarian society to end. Either way. Water shortage is gonna start next turn, if we're not careful. In fact, it is just gonna start. And there's almost nothing that we can do about it. We want as many people on plant-based diets as possible so that we don't end up with a water shortage in place, but that's a bit of a pain in the backside. Anyway, let's take our problems one at a time here. Import tariffs in the first instance. See if we can end the uncompetitive economy. Unemployment is going to be way down. Patriots are going to love it. Capitalists love me not having import tariffs, which is fine, I guess. Foreign relations and foreign international trade both going to go down. Now, the funny thing about international trade, it's already pretty low. It does feed positively into GDP. It does feed into the food price as well. The food price, by the way, is now going to shoot right up because of the water shortage situation, which is not exactly ideal. It's not exactly ideal at all. Tax evasion as well. Tax evasion, we need to cut tax evasion. We need to cut tax evasion out. And in fact, I think I do have a way that we're gonna fix this, but this is way down the line. Nothing that we need to worry about at this moment in time. Pollution as well. We need to introduce a whole bunch of pro-environment policies. Antibiotics resistance. I mean, that is caused by the fact that my lifespan is so large. Maybe I need to bring the lifespan down in order to try get rid of this. I believe that an antibiotics ban should hopefully make a dent in this antibiotics resistance situation. So that's going to be good. Health is going to increase. Capitalists are not going to like it. Farmers ain't going to like it. I presume that this is an antibiotics ban to livestock? But what about an antibiotics ban to humans? What about that? Is that a thing that we can do? I don't know. Speaking of the environment, what do we want to do to improve the environment? Well, we got a couple of options. Keep the countryside tidy campaign. That's another slight improvement. 3% to the environment. Honestly, 3% to the environment seems like nothing, but actually, when there's nothing, 3% is actually fairly important. So there we go. Single-use plastic ban. We will ban single-use plastics. Liberals hate it. Capitalists hate it. That's fine. Environmentalists do love it, though. Also, we got a space program. Up and running in the last episode. However, we want to get a Mars program at some point over the course of this episode. The pesky gig economy has started to develop, which is irritating to say the least, because I feel like as a socialist, I should not allow the gig economy to exist. In fact, this is almost an entirely due to the fact that we have labor laws which are not addressing what I consider to be important stuff. So I think we're going to see if we can try and bump up our labor laws, but we need to see if there's anything more important to deal with first. Okay, GDP is basically maxed out. Unemployment has hit rock bottom, mostly because our import tariffs have had an effect. Speaking of import tariffs, look at that. The uncompetitive economy modifier is starting to decrease, which is great. Do I care about the fact that we're going to unlock 10% of GDP here, or even 11% of GDP? Honestly, 11% of GDP is just not that important at all. Yeah, we're going to lose 4% GDP because our international trade is going to decrease a lot. However, we're going to unlock 10% of GDP thanks to ending the uncompetitive economy modifier, so that's quite exciting. Yeah. That ain't too bad. We're still running a massive surplus, which is still great. I'm very, very happy with that. That's hopefully going to continue going forward. A Mars program? I would like a Mars program. I would greatly, greatly, greatly like a Mars program. However, before we do that, eco-home regulations and also rural development grants both seem like great policies that help the environment. Rural development grants straight up just add 4% to GDP. That seems insane. That seems really, really big. 15% decrease to unemployment? Just by handing over a couple of billions to the countryside? It's literally that simple, apparently. This water shortage, by the way, I mean, it's not a great problem. Antibiotics ban, does that actually reduce the price of... That increases the price of food. So why is the food price actually decreasing when everything here tells me that it should be increasing? International trade is decreasing. I think our food price is gonna rocket. It's gonna skyrocket. That's what I predict anyway. Not a fan of that. Cyberbullying, yeah, not a big deal at all. Fake news as well. Fake news, thank you very much to everyone who pointed out in the comments that fake news does actually have an effect. I don't know if it's just not represented in bubbles. Supposedly, it makes people more polarized. I can't confirm that. I'm afraid I don't know. I don't know if that is the case. It would certainly be cool if it is. Polarized along the sort of capitalist, socialist, conservative, liberal axis. So, you know, that would be cool if that's the case. Again, I still cannot increase my socialist membership past like 75%. It is deeply, deeply, deeply irritating that I'm not able to do that. Speaking of deeply irritating, not work safety law. I'm looking for labor laws. That's exactly what I'm interested in. Okay, so let's just crank this up each and every turn. It's going to take a little while for us to get up to max, but we're going to do it. Airport expansion. Should I allow an airport expansion? I'm going to reject the plans. Fine. I was hoping that would improve the environment. It didn't. That's a pain in the backside. What the heck? Okay, this is excellent. GDP is maxed out. Brilliant. Health is on the up and up thanks to the antibiotics ban. That's great. Health is on the up and up, again, thanks to the antibiotics ban. Hopefully, the antibiotics-resistant bacteria is going to end. It's going to end in a couple of turns, which is great. It's going to improve health yet more, which is wonderful. Yep, health, as we can already see, is increasing. Education, still stubbornly low, actually. Still stubbornly low. I think I want to invest in my young people a little bit more. Private space industry, excellent. Patriots love me just a little bit more. Everyone likes me, in fact. And GDP also increases. Not like it particularly matters. Hazel Adams, compulsory foreign language classes. That's what you want me to implement. I will indeed implement that. The credit rating of the country has been upgraded. Oh my goodness. My surplus is gonna... It's gonna, like, shoot up by, like, 10 billion. It's gonna shoot up by 10 billion. It's gonna be insane. Environmental protests, honestly, that little lack of GDP there, not a big deal at all. I'm really trying to fix the environment. I really am trying to fix the environment, but it's unfortunately a bit of a challenge. Anyway, look at that. A $76 billion, I keep saying dollar, billion pound surplus. That's excellent. And the uncompetitive economy modifier looks like it's going to decrease as well, to the point where it's frankly going to be irrelevant. Bear in mind, by the way, that we still have this tax avoidance modifier in full effect. Is it at all possible for me to just decrease this all the way down? So we go from about 100 all the way down to 50. Let's give that a shot, actually. Let's give that a shot. So how much political capital does that cost? That costs about 8 political capital. So we're at 65%. We're at 65%, and I want to return to 65%. We're going to absolutely slash our surplus. I know it's a little bit risky given the circumstances. You know, the global economy does fluctuate. We're on the way down. We've got to account for that. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But we're at triple C. We're at triple C, and the chances are that our debt to GDP ratio is only going to improve from here on. So we're excited for that. Now, this private space industry thing. This private space industry thing is very, very good. I'm very, very happy with it. That's looking really, really good. This water shortage thing, this food price thing is, yeah, this food price is gonna become a big old deal in a bit. Uncompetitive economy, we've already chatted about that. Pollution, I mean, that's showing no sign of degrading at all. So we just have to implement more environmental policies. Carbon capture and storage, that's an option. That's genuinely an option right there. There was something else that I was going to introduce that I cannot for the life of me remember. Reforestation. Yeah, reforestation was what I was gonna implement. The reason why is that it's going to reduce pollution, it's going to reduce CO2 emissions, and it's going to reduce respiratory disease. And it's pretty flippin' darn cheap, if you ask me. CO2 emissions are actually really, really high due to GDP. Average temperature it's a little bit high, and that feeds into the food price and also feeds into the water shortage right there. So it's not exactly ideal, but it's fine. Technological advantage has rebounded since we got rid of the rare earth crisis here. So that's good too. Egalitarian society. I mean, which one's equality? That's gender equality. That's equality. Yeah, so equality's taken a little bit of a hit, mostly due to the flat income tax. The sales tax as well is also a big deal. What would be good to do? Oh, I tell you what I need to do. Oh, flippin' heck, I completely forgot. Hazel Adams, compulsory foreign language. Yeah, we need to introduce that. Cyberbullying awareness. Hey, look, we can reduce cyberbullying. Cool. Yeah, my bad. Generational wealth gap has increased. And that lowers equality. Yeah, I need to increase equality before the next election. That's something that I absolutely need to do. Either way, I'm sorry, Hazel. I did initially anticipate that I would do the compulsory language classes thing. I didn't. I'm sorry. Okay, a food crisis is about to emerge. Yeah, I know. I predicted this coming a mile away, I'm afraid. This is a big old bad deal, if you ask me. GDP takes a little bit of a tumble, but that is totally fine. The price of food. How do we counter the price of food? How do we stop the price of food increasing dramatically? It's quite simple, really. We fix the water shortage. We fix the water shortage. That irritating that I can't address that more directly. Yeah, the way that we fix this is by introducing, what is it? A climate change adaptation fund. That's exactly what we're after. So let's implement that. And let's bump the system right up to here. Actually, we might want to bump it right up to max and then scale it back down as we fix the issues. Yeah, we might end up weirdly running a deficit for like another couple of turns. I doubt that that'll be too much of a big deal because we've got this uncompetitive economy which is going to end not next turn, maybe the turn after, or the turn after that. So it's going to free up a little bit of cash. We're also going to fix tax evasion as soon as income tax comes down a little bit. So it's good to look forward to. It's good to look forward to. Ideally, I'd like to get rid of the flat tax, but yeah, hey-ho. Right, allow the merger. Sure, I'm interested in a little bit of extra GDP. Unemployment's not going to go anywhere because why would it? Our unemployment is in a great, great place. Antibiotics-resistant bacteria has ended. Brilliant. Which means that health is gonna head right back up, which is excellent. Healthcare demand is at an, I was going to say at an all-time low, but it's not at an all-time low. It's still pretty high. How's immigration doing, actually? Immigration is very, very high because our human development, our health, the stability of our country, and also GDP, very, very high. I don't think there's any way that I can get immigration down anymore. I can bump up border controls. What's that? 11 political capital. It's quite a pricey bump. End life recycling law. One of the downsides to a consumer society is that so many products end up just thrown into a landfill at the end of their life. Yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, capitalists. Look, we've given up. We've given up long ago. Given up long ago appeasing capitalists. Okay, I need to see some movement on the tax evasion front. Yes, that's great. That's really, really good. How are we doing water shortage-wise? Climate change adaptation fund. That's gonna take effect over the next couple of turns. 18 turns to take effect. Implementation time plus 13. You're just 34% effective, Kristen Alexander. You ain't hot. You ain't super hot. This is not exactly ideal. You're very, very, very ineffective, actually. Which sucks. Which very, very much sucks. Agriculture subsidies. I mean, look, if we bump up agriculture subsidies, that will technically fix our problem. Might allow us to get a handle on the food price situation. Stop it just rapidly increasing out of control. But to be honest, I'm at this point I'm just fully accepting that we're gonna have a food crisis on our hands in a couple of turns. You know, it's just gonna happen. It's absolutely gonna happen. Eco-home regulations, sure. Let's see if we can implement that. Let's fully fund it as well. CO2 emissions down. Environmentalist membership. Look, the problem with this is that I don't really actually Labor Day bank holiday. Sure, let's go for it. GDP down, socialist and socialist membership up. Cool. Seems like something that we should do, right? I'm just not super happy. I'm not super happy about increasing the membership of the environmentalist group. Not because the environmentalists don't like me. It's just because it's a lot more difficult to actually improve the environment when you've got such a good economy, you know? It's a bit of a pain in the backside. Foreign neighbor nuclear test, missile test. Yeah, look, this is ridiculous. Why is this event? Why is this event something that I can get? It's ridiculous. Right, so we've just unlocked 10% of our GDP that's been tied away by the uncompetitive economy modifier for like the vast majority of the game. Health is up again. Not enough to be worth mentioning. Education is up. I mean, can we boost anything here? Rewrite school history books? No, not really. State schools are pretty much fully funded. Pretty much, you know, cost an extra couple of billion to fully fund it. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Anyway, food crisis has developed. We knew it would happen. And it's entirely due to the price of food. And nothing else. Productivity takes a little bit of a hit. Honestly, productivity needed. Productivity is probably the most important thing there. We need to improve productivity. We are in a little bit of a deficit situation, but we're going to be in a deficit situation until we can end tax avoidance, and then we're going to bump income tax way back up to 65%, and we're going to be totally fine. Pollution is showing no signs of ending at all. at all, at all, at all. The environment is still at rock bottom. The water shortage, climate change adaptation fund, it just takes such a long time to roll out. And it costs me 20 billion a turn. It's ridiculous. It really, really is. What else do we need to get into law this turn? Nothing much, really. Frequent flyer tax. I did get rid of that. Is it time to bring it back? Sure. Let's go for it. Okay, let's maximally fund the frequent flyer tax. It's going to take a little bit away from GDP, but we're going to be fine. We've got GDP to spare. We've got GDP to spare here. And importantly, it's going to hopefully give us a little bit of a surplus, which is exactly what I'm after. Environmental protests. Look, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no way that I can fix these without improving the environment, and there's no way that I can improve the environment at all because my GDP is so good. It's a catch-22. I've never implemented the carbon capture and storage. I've never implemented this. However, I feel like it would be a good idea. City farms, I think, is the bad one, isn't it, if I'm not mistaken. Transport, bicycle subsidies, carpooling campaign, cycling campaign, fuel efficiency standards. Let's do fuel efficiency standards. Fuel efficiency standards, absolutely. Let's do it. Oil demand goes down. Car usage goes up a little bit for some obscene reason. Didn't understand why that's the case, but that's fine. Okay, next turn. What do we got? GDP, massive tumble, actually. Massive, massive, massive tumble. I presume that part of the reason that was such a large tumble was because, yeah, the global economy is basically collapsing beneath us. We're still managing to run a surplus. Probably not going to be running a surplus for much longer. But again, it's short term. Short term until we fix the tax evasion turn. Right, not next turn, but the turn after that is when tax evasion, I think, don't quote me on this, but it's going to be finished. So that's great. Gig economy is probably going to be ended as soon as we can scale up. As soon as we can scale up all of the labor laws and make sure that we get as many as possible. Get as many socialists as possible, that is. Respiratory disease, I mean, look, I'm trying my best. How's our car usage looking? Not great. Bus usage is pretty low. Free bus passes, can I maybe, like, bump up? It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, is it? Honestly, a lot of our solutions, I think, come in the form of the transport menu here. National monorail system. Interestingly, the national monorail system, subsidized school buses, telecommuting initiative. Let's do the telecommuting initiative, sure. Yeah, so the monorail policy is actually going to be changed to a high-speed rail policy, which I think is probably much better because monorails are stupid. Ban non-LED bulbs, sure. Let's go for that. Energy efficiency is way up. CO2 emissions should take a big old tumble, actually. They should take a big old tumble. We've really focused our minds on the environment here, which is great. Organic farming, I think... No, this doesn't actually fix the environment. This just makes farmers very, very happy. Okay, so there's no point in funding this to the max. It does improve health, but I actually think that health-wise we're okay. Yeah, we're actually fine. We're actually fine in terms of health, so that's okay. An egalitarian society has been really difficult to get back ever since we implemented the flat income tax. Anything that we can reduce here? Private pensions? Ooh, private pensions. Now, that's not something that I've dealt with yet. We need to max out state pensions, and that's not something that I've considered. Doesn't actually cost that much. It's only going to cost us an extra 20 billion or so. Doesn't cost us that much. It will cost us a lot, is what I mean to say. But it's something that we can afford, and it's something that we should do. Right, GDP has gone down yet again. Cyberbullying has ended. A teacher's strike is perhaps imminent, and that is perhaps because of the labor laws. Wages are really, really high. If wages are high, why do people want to go on strike? Why do people want to go on strike? We're fully funding state schools. Well, we're not fully funding state schools, but we can fully fund state schools. Let's go for that. 11 political capital. It seems a little bit of a waste, but it's fine. Keep rural banks. Force the banks to stay open. Sure. Okay. How are we looking tax evasion wise? Oh, beautiful. Okay, tax evasion is going to end next turn, and that is oh so unbelievably important. Oh, so unbelievably important indeed. Environmental protests, not going to end anytime soon. Food crisis ain't going to end anytime soon. Water shortage also ain't going to end anytime soon. However, the Climate Change Adaptation Fund is coming online slowly but surely. Pollution will hopefully start to decrease. It is thanks to reforestation. The environment has recovered ever so slightly. We're getting there. 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 Now, the flat income tax, which is a pretty dreadful policy just in general and absolutely destroys equality. Payroll tax is good, actually. Payroll tax is good. It's not good because it develops the gig economy, which is not exactly ideal, but that's fine. That is what it is. The income tax is our best form of taxation. Remember, we're heading right the way back up to 65% taxation as soon as we have the political capital. We need what? What did I say? 36 political capital? 36 political capital to move this back up here. Yeah. Okay, 36 political capital. How much are we going to get next turn? 19. We're going to be just shy. We're going to be just shy, irritatingly. I can boost up income tax by like a bit this turn. And then next turn we'll have 18 free. Okay, you know what we can do? We can do this over the course of a couple of turns. So let's boost that up. Excellent. We're going to end tax evasion anyway next turn, so we don't need to worry about that altogether too much. It's just important that we're able to continue to, you know, run a surplus as close as we possibly can. Whoa, what is this? A share IPO success. Our country's latest technology startup success story has listed itself publicly on the National Stock Exchange. Investors were hungry to buy a piece of the newest company to disrupt traditional markets. Excellent. That's really good. This is a great indication of the level of technological expertise in our workforce. Brilliant. Okay. So GDP is basically almost back to max. Somebody's resigned. The transport secretary resigned. Frankly, not a big deal. Liberal and a motorist. Motorists don't really like me, but that's okay. Welcome to the team. Tax evasion has just ended, which means that we are still technically running a surplus, which is very, very nice. 19 political capital. What can we do with 19 political capital? It's a great question. We can go all the way up to 61% over here, which is great. Again, it might take us near tax evasion, although I doubt it. I think with 65%, we can just about control that. We can just about control the tax evasion shenanigans. So that's good. Okay, we only have one political capital. Not much that we can do over the course of this turn anyway. Water shortage is slowly but surely fixing itself, which is great. Okay, gay adoption, sure. Let's go for it. Religious people don't like it, but honestly, that's not a big deal at all. Nobody dislikes me. Nobody even slightly dislikes me. What is important to me, which I've thus far failed to accomplish as much as I would like to, is membership of the socialist group. Private pensions is really, really hampering membership. The fact that there is no unemployment is also hampering membership, but that's, I mean, there's nothing that I can do about that, for goodness sake. A $44 billion surplus. I keep saying $billion, even though I mean billion pound. £44 billion surplus. The environment is still trash. Yeah, it's absolutely awful. The food crisis should actually end as soon as the water shortage does end, although that's just taken so much time to come online, isn't it? Flippin' heck. Oh boy, it's just taking ages. Government subsidies for unions, that would be a popular policy. I don't think there's anything that's like unbelievably pressing right now. I want to get the Mars program. I'm pretty certain that we can get the intergalactic socialism achievement if we get the Mars program. So that would be good to do. Oh, I'll tell you what we need to do. State pensions. State pensions needs to be maxed out. Absolutely. Maybe this is going to help us get top marks. I don't know. But I need to do state pensions. I also wanted to do, what is it? State transport company? State railway company? Yeah, we need to subsidize. Oh, we are actually already subsidizing that. Was it state electricity company then that we were subsidizing? Let me go to expenditure. Sorry, income. Frequent flyer tax, satellite road pricing. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm actually spending all of my money on everything that I should be spending all of my money on. Ah, okay. I thought I adjusted a few bits and bobs, but apparently that's not the case. Yeah, no, I am absolutely subsidizing. I'm absolutely subsidizing every single aspect of my economy. All of the industries have been fully nationalized, which is great. We cannot nationalize anything else apart from national service. Maybe that's it, I guess. Yeah, it's fair enough. Compulsory languages, no, there's no point. There's no point really at all. The only thing that I'm really irritated about is the fact that our equality is so low. Now, we are increasing income tax, which is going to make a big old difference. Private pensions is going to get decimated. Sales tax, honestly, I would like to just eliminate, if at all possible. Because if we get rid of that, then that'll probably get us over the line. But, you know, not quite there yet. GDP takes a little bit of a tumble. That's not necessarily a problem. We can just about learn to live with that. Gonna prevent construction of the toxic waste dump. Nobody dislikes that. Excellent to see. The global economy is continuing to decrease, which is absolutely fine. Our personal debt, I say our personal debt, our nation's debt is also starting to decrease, which is good. We're running a consistent surplus now, which is exactly where we want to be. The water shortage, still an issue. Still an issue. Still an issue. Pollution, also still an issue. Reforestation is coming online very, very in a major way. Very, very in a major way. Very, very bigly. The environment is, I mean, still questionable. Still questionable. We need to just throw in some more. We need to throw in some more green transport policies. That's what we're really after, right? Ban low MPG cars. That's a good idea. That's going to make a big difference to the environment. Yeah, the environment is going to increase by 12%. That's really, really good, actually. Motorists hate it, though. And there is, yeah, liberal motorist. You're not a big fan of me, to be honest. Is there a way that I can reduce membership of the motorist group? To be honest, there straight up is. Traffic congestion actually increases membership of the motorist group. That's insane. Surely. Petrol tax. Can I increase this petrol tax? Motorists absolutely hate it. And GDP takes a huge tumble. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, we'll leave it there. I think the motorist membership is hopefully going to trend downwards. That's kind of the plan anyway. If we can reduce car usage as well, that might hopefully make a little bit of a difference. Rail usage is slowly but surely increasing, which is good. As I say, I mean, like, we're gonna hopefully find our answer to the environmental problem in the transport menu. With a couple of additional transport policies, that should get us over the line. Oh, something that I keep on forgetting to do. Something that I keep on forgetting to do, but I really do need to keep on... Yeah, I don't want to do that. One thing that I do keep on forgetting to adjust is the labor laws, right? We need to max this out. 16 political capital to do that. How much are we going to get next turn? 19. That ain't too shabby. Speaking of next turn, manifesto commitment. Yeah, literally the only manifesto commitment that I have not... Well, the only manifesto commitment that I made and have not yet achieved, because it is the only one that I made, is increasing equality. Another share IPO success? Okay, you love to see it. Capitalists are slightly happy. I still don't understand why 23% of my population is capitalist. That really is kind of high, given how hard I have tried to create socialists out of the populace. Now, if I have a little look at membership, private pensions, still the largest thing. Is there any way that I can, like, reduce private pensions further? They're being boosted by the size of GDP. I wonder if there's a policy that we can use to change that around. We're still running a 16 billion pound surplus, which is great. Let's fully let's fully do this. So the working week is going to come way, 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 way down. I don't really think that that matters too much. It's going to decrease foreign investment, but foreign investment's actually quite important, as it turns out. But that's fine. That's totally fine. We can learn to live with that. And then let's look to the transport policies section, and we can see if we can, I don't know, introduce bicycle subsidies or some nonsense like that. Pollution controls, I would actually like to amend. Is that something that we want to do? I think that is something that we want to do. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. We need to get in control. We need to get in control of our environmental situation. And also, lowering GDP wouldn't exactly be the worst thing in the world. It would not be. The food crisis is continuing to exist. Bit of a pain in the backside. Pollution, looks like we're going to get on top of this, which is really, really great if that's the case. Okay. Disguised employment law. Sure. Let's go for that. Capitalists hate it, but again, not a big deal. Okay, the teacher strike is almost certainly gonna develop into something. And I hate this because there is absolutely nothing that I can do about this. There is absolutely nothing that I can do to stop the teacher strike, even though I have just given people more pro-union laws, more pro-union approach to labor, I should say. Even though I've done that, the teachers are still going to strike. I'm not happy about that. Not happy about that at all. Right, 25 billion surplus. Here's what we need to do before we get too carried away. We need to introduce a Mars program. Let's wait until next turn to do that. It's going to cost us 12 billion in political capital. So I want to get that done as swiftly as we possibly can. University grants, yes, and technology colleges, again, we want both of those things. However, I want to do that after I get the Mars program, as I'm convinced that a Mars program is going to be my my salvation. Okay. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So we've got like a very, very large number of trade unionists, apparently. Ooh, this is a problem. Can I increase this? Let's increase it to there. Yeah. Okay, do that. Education takes a massive hit. Hate to see it. Not good at all. The rare earth crisis, I'm trying to stop. I'm really, really trying to stop. This teacher strike crisis, I have no idea. I have no idea how we deal with this teacher strike. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. That leaves me one political capital short, unbelievably irritatingly, of a Mars program, which is what I am oh so desperate to implement. What's our max political capital? It's 40. We're going to get 20 next turn. We've got to spend 9 political capital this turn then in order to make sure that we've got enough. Can I buy a policy or something? Some policy with regards to technology colleges. Something like that. Youth Politics Council. Youth Club subsidies. Sure. Let's do that. That was 9 political capital, by the way, which is exactly why I implemented it. Right, the water shortage is almost over, which means that that is going to be the food crisis almost over as well, which we're so close to finishing that up. Productivity, surprisingly, is not in the gutter quite yet. Can I get a state airline? I know that I closed all airports temporarily, but can I get a state-run airline? That would be fun, right? Internet tracking, ban tracking, mostly because liberals like me, and I like liberals. I want to keep them on my side. I'm fully anticipating, by the way, that a rare earth crisis is going to develop here. And honestly, very, very irritating that this is the case. Rare earth metal mining, we need to deplete this. The problem is that technology is so good. Technology is so flippin' good. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better once we introduce the Mars program, which is what I'm going to do very, very shortly indeed. How do we increase equality just a little bit? Generational wealth gap, property tax. Do we just like fully fund this property tax? I think we do. I don't think that the property tax feeds into tax evasion. I think it'll feed into brain drain, but you know, maybe that's just something that we want to do. Oh, flippin' heck. I completely forgot that I was supposed to introduce the Mars program. Alright, you know what? Forget about the Mars program. Yeah, university grants. Excellent. This is kind of what I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping that we could increase education and also reduce the teacher strike as well. So the property tax is actually going to raise a significant amount of money. The university grants is going to consume a fairly significant amount of money. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm absolutely A-okay with that. Right, what do we got? Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Egalitarian society is now here. Why did it spike so much? Oh, it spiked because of the property tax that we implemented, which is totally fine. Right, the water shortage is now ended, which almost certainly means that the food crisis is going to end, like, right now, because the food price is going to take a real tumble. 6 turns of inertia before we can get rid of that entirely, but that's fine. Environmental protests. The environment's probably in a fairly good place at this moment in time. Pollution controls we've really been working on. The rare earth crisis. Look, we're trying to get on top of this. We're trying to get on top of this, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge to do. It's a challenge to do. Maybe we just need to be fully funding this rare earth metal mining thing for forever. It's going to feed negatively into pollution, though, i.e. it's going to give us a load of extra pollution. I don't really love it, but I don't think that we have a choice here. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Do it. Just do it. Widespread extraction. Excellent. Okay, that's going to basically wipe out our surplus, which is less than ideal. But I'm hoping that the teacher's strike will end over the next couple of turns. Respiratory disease. My goodness gracious me. Are we actually going to see the respiratory disease end? I straight up think we might. Not this turn, but the turn after that. We've got an election coming up, which is real good. Nobody is interested in having a pop at me, which is excellent. Whistleblower, let's reform. Cool. Foreign relations, excellent. Our foreign relations are actually in a pretty good place. So pretty happy about that. Pollution ends. Wow, that is surprising. That is very, very surprising indeed. I was not anticipating that. Okay, so with the pollution modifier ended, does that actually improve the environment? I think it might actually improve the environment. Either way, respiratory disease. Respiratory disease is probably going to end. It's almost going to end next turn. Car usage is continuing to decline, which is great. Fake news. How do I even get rid of fake news? State broadcaster is maximally funded. I've absolutely no idea. Food crisis continuing to disappear. Environmental protests, that's also going to disappear at some point, which is great. Rare earth crisis, it's going to take a little while. Going to take a little while for that policy to be fully implemented, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there in the end. We're going to absolutely get there. Now, I'm still keen. I'm still keen to get this flippin' space thing. This flippin' Mars program. Goodness gracious me. It's taken me a long time to get there, but I'm keen. Right. I can spend 6 political capital this turn. 6 political capital is all that I need. Foreign investor tax breaks. I do not want to adjust that. I'm just thinking, what can I adjust for 6 political capital? Road building. You know what? Let's take road building down a little bit. So we're going to save $500 million, which is, again, quite nice. Existing roads fixed. We're going to increase traffic congestion a little bit, but we're also going to take down car usage. Motorists are also going to despise me, but that's fine. That's fine. We only have 1 motorist supporter on the team, I believe. Yeah, that's Charlotte Martin here. She's the only filthy motorist sympathizer that we've got. So that's great. Honestly, all in all, pretty darn great. Another neighbor runs a stinking nuclear test. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. We're still running a surplus. Our debt to GDP ratio is 125% of GDP. This is okay, though, because the global economy is starting to pick up, and that is nothing but growth. Nothing but net. Nothing but net. Right, rare earth crisis, that's going to end soon. Food crisis, almost certainly going to end soon. I say that. Is it going to end soon? Is it maybe time that I need to start manipulating the food price by subsidizing farmers? Truthfully, that is a concern. Teacher strike, university grants is seeing to that, although it looks like we're going to need to work a little bit harder to get that down below the threshold. Let's introduce a Mars program. Let's flip and introduce a Mars program. It's about time. It's about time. 12 billion. Let's get a Mars base. Let's get a Mars base, folks. That's right. That's right. Let's flip and go. Okay, a Mars base at 12 billion pounds a quarter is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. Is there any way that I can save money? Is there any way that I can save money? I have no idea how I can save money. I mean, look, what about if I cut back on my climate change adaptation fund, given that this is kind of, I don't want to say that it's kind of useless, but like it is basically useless, right? It's useless when it's not like actually being used. It's useful to get rid of the water shortage, put it that way. But it's not useful for anything else. So that's good. Okay, so that's going to save us like what? 10 or 12 billion, which is great. I don't think there's any other policy that we really want to introduce right now. No, we got one political capital anyway. We are 2 turns away from the election. So let's see what happens. Ooh, that's nasty. That's very, very nasty, in fact. Don't like to see that. GDP strangely went down. Did not anticipate that would decrease. I've already talked about how the global economy is in a very, very negative position at this moment in time. Yeah, it's gonna make sure that we're running a big old deficit right there. But that's okay. I'm sure GDP is gonna pick up over the course of the next couple of turns anyway, as soon as the rare earth crisis gets rectified. I don't know how we fix this. Diverted profits tax. I really want these extra foreign relations, to be honest, because these foreign relations help decrease the rare earth metal crisis, which is good. Import tariffs also are ruining our foreign relations. I tell you what, let's take this right back down. Let's take that right back down. Confirm using apolitical capital. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way that we have to fix the rare earth crisis in short order. I don't know why, but my cabinet absolutely love me. I just wish they were a little bit more qualified for what they're actually doing. That would be really, really nice. I'm still loved by the vast majority of the people, which is excellent. We do have a private space industry. Very, very happy with that. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. Very, very nice indeed. We still have a teacher strike. That's a bit of a pain in the backside as well. Is there any way that we can get on top of the teacher strike? Well, not really. Not really, I don't think. I don't think that there is anything that we can do. Technology colleges? Maybe. Maybe we fully fund that. Education, technology, state employee membership. I mean, sure. Speaking of membership, how are we doing socialist membership-wise? We're not doing too bad, actually. We're not doing too bad at all. Membership is looking really, really good. The labor laws, changing the labor laws around, as it turns out, super necessary, as that ended up increasing membership by a decent percentage. Equality, because our equality is so high, it is reducing membership of the socialist group, which is kind of crazy. Wages are also super high, which also decreases the number of socialists that we have. Don't know how that works. Doesn't seem like it should work like that. I'm not an expert. Fake news, I mean, look, what the heck? What the heck do we do about this? There's no way to tackle this. Apart from like banning the internet, I don't think that there is a way that we can deal with this. State telecoms company? We got a state telecoms company. Everyone's being given free internet. It's excellent. Right, what do we want to do? Flat income tax cut by 25%. I don't want to cut anything, to be honest. Gender equality. I guess we could try and raise gender equality. That would be quite a good challenge, I think. All right, let's go for it. I think that's it, really, to be honest. I'm not really interested in making any speeches, even if I don't have the political capital to do so. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, look, this is going to be a romp of an election, to be honest. The Constitutional Party gets a big fat 0 votes. Honestly, not as big as my previous majorities, although, to be honest, can you really complain? Can you really complain? I don't think you can. Interestingly, though, literally 0 votes for the Constitutional Party. Pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Right, well, let's begin the next term. I don't think anyone is really in a dodgy situation. Everyone is giving me a whole bunch of political capital with the exception of you. Right there, which is fine. GDP is back up. Now, the fact that GDP is back up is great. We've got an uncompetitive economy, which is about to take off yet again, and that is because we've not taken account of that in the fact of our import tariffs. Oh, we're gonna have to spend a little while getting rid of that uncompetitive economy modifier again. I was really hoping that our economy would at least be slightly more competitive at this stage, but apparently that's just not the case. Irritating. Right, rare earth crisis is indeed decreasing. Foreign relations should shoot right up. Yep, and then it's going to shoot right back down as well. So that's pretty dreadful. Yeah, still no word on either the top marks or the intergalactic socialism modifier. I dare say that is probably something to do with the fact I need to convert maybe the entire population to socialists. It's proving to be much more challenging than I originally anticipated, though. Private pensions still exist. Private pensions still exist. Which is a bit of a pain in the backside. Is there anything that I can do about the private pensions? Not really. Not really. I don't think so. Tax, hybrid cars initiative. Sure, maybe we could introduce that, but I mean that doesn't really make much of a difference, I don't think. Congestion charging. I mean that sounds like something that I just want to do out of spite, to be honest. Micro generation grants. Enterprise investment scheme. Look, I need more money. I need more capital. I need more capital. Government subsidies for unions. Yeah, consumer rights? Sure, let's implement consumer rights. Sure, limited consumer rights. That seems like a fairly in the middle approach. Maybe it's time that we start sort of phasing out the flat income tax. Okay, credit rating upgraded. First and foremost, that's excellent. That's excellent. That's really, really good. GDP improved a little bit. Political relationship upgraded. International trade gets a little bit of a boost. Picks itself up off the floor, which is wonderful. Uncompetitive economy is heading right back down because of income tariffs. Yeah, I know. Or import tariffs, should I say. I was really hoping to be made aware of the fact that... I was really hoping to be made aware before this massive jump happened. I was hoping that I would be able to scale back import tariffs a little bit to the point of it would head up to like here, and then we'd be able to, you know, to adjust it accordingly. But that's fine. That's fine. Environmental protests ended. Excellent. Demand from the donor. What is it? Rent controls? Sure. I'm happy with that. Rent controls, that's a sufficiently socialist policy. Private housing is going to take a little bit of a hit, which is excellent. I think private housing already, yeah, it's not existed for many turns. But, I mean, that doesn't particularly matter. Is there anything else which strikes me as like a socialist policy? Food stamps is a popular policy. Banning second home ownership does sound like a fairly socialist policy. Childcare provision, that also seems like a pretty socialist policy. You never know, though, do you? You never know. The rare earth crisis, boy. Foreign aid. Let's expand foreign aid, actually. Yeah, okay, so it's going to cost me a little bit more, but I think that this is the right thing to do, because the only way that we can get rid of this rare earth crisis is by improving our foreign relations, or by deproving our technology, which sounds kind of crazy, but I've really been trying. Industrial automation, honestly, I feel like getting rid of this automation tax would be great, but it is bringing in 9 billion at this moment in time. Yeah, I think we want to cancel the industrial automation tax. If we can. Next turn. We can give that a shot. Oh, thank goodness the food crisis has ended. Okay, feels good. We're getting on top of all of our problems. This is really, really excellent. Okay, so I think maybe in order to get intergalactic socialism, we need to just cancel this policy. Cancel this policy. 10 political capital to do. We're still running a surplus, supposedly. I didn't actually check how much of a surplus we had before we canceled that policy, but that's fine. Anything else that sticks out as a distinctly socialist policy? The Welfare Fraud Department. How is that popular? I don't actually understand why that would be popular. Energy industry. The fact that this decreases socialist membership. Again, I don't understand why the energy industry, of all things, impacts membership of the socialist group. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, maybe there's another economy thing that we can perhaps implement. Government subsidies for unions, for example. Yeah, that's another one. That's really, really good. I mean, just anything that can increase membership, because I'm almost certain that one of these achievements is tied to membership. I haven't actually looked at what the achievements are controlled by, but I will. I absolutely will. I'll find out for you. Rare earth crisis. Yep, that's still showing no sign of going away. People smuggling, allow them to stay. Sure. What's the threat assessment looking like? Threat assessment is fine. Threat assessment is fine. There is nothing wrong. Situation imminent. Pollution is about to become a big old deal. Because the environment's presumably in such a bad place again. I mean, look, there's only so much that we can do. Video game. I'm really trying here. I'm really trying. Petrol tax, that's not going to make a difference. Electric car transition. Yeah, I mean, look, we're trying to get on board with that. But it's taken a while. What did I say that I was going to introduce? I can't actually remember. Yeah, industrial automation is going to shoot right up, which I think is excellent. Ah, yes, I was going to introduce anything that allowed, or anything that I thought was like vaguely socialist. It's remarkably difficult to determine. Childcare provision. Yes, actually totally is a socialist policy. That's good. Okay, at least my nose is barking up the right tree or whatever. That was butchered that, but that's okay. Okay, childcare provision. Let's fully fund that. I know it's going to cost us 12 billion. That's almost going to wipe out our surplus. Again, it would be great if we could solve this rare earth crisis, because then we'd be able to get a little bit of extra GDP back, a little bit of productivity, which feeds into GDP, etc., etc. Foreign relations have almost maxed out, which is great. Uncompetitive economy. We need to increase these tariffs, unfortunately. Gonna decrease foreign relations, but I need the uncompetitive economy modifier to end. Again, that's locking up GDP as well. Teacher strike. How do we even get rid of the teacher strike? I have absolutely no idea. Prevent drilling. Sure. There's no point in even thinking of appeasing the capitalist. Oh, flippin' heck. Quantum computing. A domestic technology firm has announced a new era of computer technology. Quantum processors use abstract scientific principles to perform calculations at the same time. Multiple calculations at the same time. Nice! Okay, respiratory disease is about to come back in a major way. I'm not actually sure why. It's because the environment's in such a bloomin' awful position. Air travel is up. What the heck can I actually do? To fix the environment? I have absolutely no idea what I can do. I mean, even a carbon tax. Even a carbon tax is pointless. The reason that a carbon tax is absolutely pointless is because, believe it or not, we got zero carbon emissions. The country is... This is wrong. CO2 emissions does not impact the environment. And I feel like it absolutely should. It literally only affects environmentalists. It's not even slightly tied into the environment. So it's like we're solving one problem and then just, ignoring the other. Either way, I think that we've got a good chance of hitting 100% socialist membership. Childcare provision is going to make a big impact. Equality, yep, there's nothing that we can do about the fact that equality is super darn high. What else can we do? Food stamps, does this actually change anything? Sure, let's introduce it. It increases equality, we fully fund this, sure. Again, it doesn't cost us, it barely costs us anything. So that's fine. Welfare fraud department, it's a wildly popular department, but it wouldn't be a good idea as far as I'm concerned. Robotics research grants, sure. Let's do that. Unemployment is going to increase dramatically, but also decrease. Productivity is going to increase. Technology is going to increase. Look, we're burning the candle at both ends here. We're desperate. We're looking for something. Carbon capture and storage. Look, it's just not going to make any difference. It's just not going to make any difference. No. Hybrid cars initiative. Enterprise investment scheme. No. Any other environmental policies in here? Not really. Nothing in there. Biofuel subsidies, but that messes up the price of food, which I do worry about. Electric cars initiative? Sure, let's go for an electric car initiative. Absolutely excellent. Anything else in the transport policies? Sure. Cycling campaign reduces car usage, bus usage, and rail usage, so, you know, makes a difference. Generational wealth gap is pretty darn low, which is great, right? Yeah. Excellent. Uncompetitive economy, that looks like it's going to end not next turn, but the turn after, which is kind of nice. Private space industry is looking real hot, looking real good. We still, by the way, have this teacher strike ongoing, because there is almost nothing that I can do about it. Is there anything that I can do here that will... National anthem at the start of the news. Here's the thing. How many patriots do we have? How many patriots do we have? Not many. Not as many as I was anticipating, to be honest. The Mars program and the space program, like, absolutely increase the number of patriots that we have. But I'm not interested in the number of patriots that we have. I'm interested entirely in the number of socialists that we have. Winter fuel subsidy. That doesn't make any difference either. That doesn't make any difference to anything. Disability benefit, that doesn't make any difference either. Child benefit, we are already fully funding child benefit to hopefully try and increase socialist membership as much as we possibly can. Tobacco campaign, alcohol awareness campaign, ban second home membership. We got to try banning the second home membership, right? All right, let's see if we can do that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so pollution is now a thing again. Irritating. The water shortage is also now a thing again. I mean, look. The Climate Change Adaptation Fund, I was really hoping that we wouldn't have to deal with that. I was really hoping that we wouldn't have to deal with that again. Turns out that we do have to deal with it again. We do have to deal with it again, but that's fine. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can try and ban second home ownership before I adjust the Climate Change Adaptation Fund shenanigan thing. That's what I'm after. Climate Change Adaptation Fund. Does that not make any difference now? Seriously, no difference? 12 political capital to go back up to max. Oh boy, it's gonna take us into irritatingly indebted territory. But it has to be done. It has to be done. If it has to be done, it has to be done. How close are we to fixing the rare earth crisis? We're not very close at all. You know what? I think we just have to... I think we just have to accept that we're going to be sticking with this rare earth crisis for a good long time to come. I do not think that there is any way that we can fix it. You know what? Carbon capture and storage? Let's freaking go. No, let's not freaking go. Let's not freaking go at all. It's a pointless policy because CO2 emissions are completely pointless in the context of this video game. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so the uncompetitive economy ends, which is great. That feeds into more productivity, more GDP, which is great. It's great mostly because I want to improve my debt to GDP ratio. I'm not happy about the fact that I've got a deficit in the background here. This is just not good. I want to improve my interest rate above like triple C. Triple C is frankly embarrassing. The amount of debt that I have is also fairly embarrassing, but it's also, I mean, fairly irrelevant, really. It doesn't end up making any difference in the long run. Right. Ban second home ownership. Excellent. Brilliant. Increase to the max. Increase to the max. Brilliant. Love to see it. Any other policy that looks remarkably socialist to me. Synthetic meat research grants, that seems kind of good because it would solve the food crisis, because we're almost certainly going to end up seeing a food price increase happening very, very soon. So maybe funding synthetic meat research grants would be a good idea. Trade union restrictions, no. Young entrepreneur scheme, maybe. Cap CEO pay multiplier, sure, let's do that. Let's see if we can do that. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, allow delivery drones. Sure. Trade unionists hate it. Right. Hey, look at that. Share IPO success. Respiratory disease is about to develop, but thankfully it's not going to develop. The water shortage remarkably has ended. How the heck did that happen that quickly? Well, that was very, very strange. I didn't realize that the Climate Change Adaptation Fund was that flexible. In fact, I'm almost certain that it hadn't been fully rolled out yet. Okay, you know what? Reduce this. Reduce this. We got 22 political capital in this turn. That's fine. We're going to cap CEO pay multiplier next turn anyway. Maybe that'll increase membership of the socialist group even more. But again, it's like we're trying our best to increase membership as much as we possibly can, and it's just not managing. We're just not able to do this. We're really trying to decrease the number of capitalists and increase the number of socialists. However, it's a bloomin' challenge, that's for sure. Okay, water shortage, again, looks like it's going to develop. Crazy how the world works, eh? Crazy how the world works. Okay, you know what? I think we might be able to make this work. So it's going to increase, but it's not going to increase past the point of here, I don't think. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this for now. Okay, power lines, stop construction. I wish that the decisions that I made actually mattered in the grand scheme of the game. Foreign investment restrictions, no. I'm interested in, what did I say I was interested in? I said I was interested in synthetic meat grants, but I also wanted to cap CEO pay. Excellent. So let's boost that as much as we possibly can. So socialists absolutely go crazy for this policy. Capitalists hate it. High earnings is decreased dramatically. Again, socialist membership is what I'm all about. Socialist membership is what I'm all about, and it's just irritating to... It's just irritatingly difficult to achieve. Foreign relations, I'm really trying to improve my foreign relations. Foreign relations have now maxed out. Okay, so here's the thing. This rare earth crisis is around forever. The fact of the matter is that the year is sufficiently advanced. Technology is sufficiently advanced. Maxed, in fact. Industrial automation. How's industrial automation looking? Industrial automation is this one here. It's increasing. It's increasing, but it's going to take a little while. I suspect that might have something to do with the achievement, as I've already highlighted. Trade Council. Trade Council is... International trade, boost the economy. I'm not that bothered about it. Social Justice Foundation. Sure, whatever. Fund it a little bit. We're still technically running a surplus, but it's nothing major. It's nothing major at all. Right, well, you know what, folks? I think that's a pretty good place to wrap this episode up. I suspect that the next episode is going to be the last one. Look at my cabinet. Holy cow! These guys are great. These guys are great. They've come such a long way. I suspect that the next episode is going to be the last one. We are very, very, very much going to try and do as many achievements as we possibly can. I will have a little look for the next episode to see exactly what we need to do to achieve the top marks achievement and, well, the other achievements, actually. I'll have a little look, and I'll make a little list of the ones that we can get. Hopefully you'll tune in then. Ladies and gents, it's been an absolute pleasure to play Democracy 4 for you today. My name, of course, has been Omo the Potato. Thanks as ever to Banana and C Senpai for being the two $25 plus tier patrons. Also, thanks to just all the patrons. They're all fantastic. They're all fantastic. Help make videos like this possible. Really couldn't do it without you guys. Excellent. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.